To all the action on Dalal Street then, where markets started the week on a weak footing. The Nifty flirted around the 200-day moving average to end with cuts of 0.5%. The Sensex also shed over 150 points in trade, and the mid-cap saw a subdued fall of 0.2%, while banks took a beating in trade today. The index shed about 0.75%, and Surbhi Upadhyay joins us now with all the highlights of today's trading action. Surbhi, Nifty consolidating around that 200-day moving average.
Weak start to the week, no other way of putting it, but you can perhaps take solace in the fact that India wasn't alone. In fact, we were falling in step with most of Asia and the European set when we were trading. One key important facet of today's trading action has been heightened volatility. The VIX was up around 4.5–5% today. The index was very, very range bound. It was really more about individual stock action. So let me get to that. The weak pillars on the Nifty 50, tech barring Infosys was definitely down and out today. So whether it was stocks like Wipro, Tech Mahindra, or even TCS, there was a lot of profit taking that was going on. Infosys, of course, bucked that trend, up about 2% on the back of that strong guidance revision that the company has managed to come out with. What else was weak in the market? Of course, with negative data or weak data, let me say, coming from China, growth concerns continuing, metals was a no-go zone once again. So JSW Steel, Tata Steel, Vedanta, most of these stocks were down. L&T was a weak hand right from morning. Stock finally ended towards the lows of the day, down 2–2.5%. GAIL was also one name in negative territory. Today wasn't a great day for corporate banks either. These high flyers that typically have been doing really well, today was a day of profit taking. So whether it's ICICI Bank, Axis, or even State Bank of India, all these stocks were down and out. So what worked today? Yes Bank, bucking the weakness in the banking pack as a whole. Lots of excitement ahead of the announcement of the new MD and CEO, 6% up on that stock. We had some green on Sun Pharma as well as Bajaj Finance. Coming to the mid-cap arena now, really the result of the day for the wrong reasons has to be Avenue Supermart. 11% gone from that stock. Lots of concerns on heightened valuations when numbers are really not adding up. When I talk about the rest of the mid-cap screen, stocks like V-Mart stood out in terms of the down move, down about 4% there. Dish TV had some more profit-taking to contend with. Federal Bank, L&T Finance, and again a bad day for Gru Finance, down another 3.5% thereabouts. Do watch out for some of these lenders to the MSME sector, because that's where some concerns and some murmurs are being heard of late. Let me talk about the gainers. Sequent Scientific and Strides Pharma, some of these stocks from the Strides group, they were up in about 9 and 10%. Everready, there's constant buzz about whether promoters are selling out or not. That keeps the stock excited. Castrol and Dabur also found some takers today, but perhaps the one that was flying high the most, Jet Airways on the cnbc TV 18 exclusive, the market getting very excited about prospects of the turnaround and restructuring plan. Otherwise, absolutely range-bound and only about specific stocks this Monday.
Oh, absolutely. Surbhi, thank you very much for bringing us all of those updates. Now from equity to the currency markets then, the Indian rupee stayed down after closing at 70.48 per US dollar on Friday. This is the lowest value of the rupee against the US dollar in nearly a month. Rising crude oil prices, the strength of the US dollar against other overseas currencies, and weak global risk sentiment is weighing on the rupee. Now moving on, here's a cnbc TV 18 exclusive then. The Modi government is gearing up to present its final budget before the 2019 polls. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley is likely to present the vote on account on the 1st of February. But sources tell us that there may be some good news in store for the income taxpayers. Let's go across to Timsy Jaipuria for the latest on this. Timsy, what should we be expecting in the budget announcement expected on the 1st of Feb?
With all eyes on the upcoming budget, government is likely to bring in some relief for the low-income group. According to sources, government is currently weighing the pros and cons of increasing exemption limit of income tax. Now, sources told cnbc TV 18 that government is mulling options to see if it can increase the income tax exemption limit to 5 lakh rupees from current 4 lakh rupees. Remember, this 4 lakh is a combination of two things. That is, one is exempted from paying income tax if the annual income is below 2.5 lakh rupees, and government also allows exemption on various savings schemes to the maximum of 1.5 lakh rupees per annum, thus making it a total of 4 lakhs. And now government is weighing options that this total of 4 lakhs, if it can be increased to 5 lakhs. Not just this, direct tax relief for large corporate houses might have to wait, as sources share that government is unlikely to reduce the corporate tax rate for remaining 1% of corporate taxpayers to 25%, as it feels that the revenue implication of this particular move would be about 1 lakh crore rupees per annum. And this is also reasoned by the thinking of the government to give relief to low-income group first as a priority, as against extending relief to corporate houses. On the other hand, when it comes to indirect taxes, government is also unlikely to make major indirect tax policy changes in the upcoming vote on account budget, as government is very clear that it would first focus on revenue stabilization on the indirect tax side and would also want to wait for any further rationalization of custom duties for the moment. However, let's see what finally happens when Finance Minister Arun Jaitley reads out his budget speech on February 1st. We'll keep you posted. Back to you.
Oh, we will. Thank you very much, Timsy, for bringing us that update. Now, staying with the upcoming vote on account, we also learned from sources that the government may announce a farmer income scheme come February 1st. Sapna Das, who broke that story, is here with all the details. Sapna, take us through what you're picking up. What is finally going to be announced? Sapna, if you can hear me, what are you picking up from the government sources on what is to be expected on the 1st February? I think we've lost the line. We'll try and reconnect with Sapna later on the show to understand what the government may offer in terms of a farmers' relief package. But here's another CNBC TV 18 exclusive in the meanwhile. Jet Airways stock rallied as much as 6% in trade today. This after CNBC TV 18 reported that a resolution plan for the beleaguered airline is likely to be finalized as early as this week. Now, we learned from sources that Naresh Goyal is likely to step down from the board and give up majority control in the ailing airline, and its partner Etihad Airways may in turn bring more cash infusion, taking its stake up from the 24% that it currently holds. Now, do remember the current FDI norms in aviation allow foreign aviation companies to hold up to 49% stake directly in a domestic company. Now, the final contours of these will have to be finalized in the all lenders meeting that is likely to be scheduled today, after which the final announcement for the resolution plan is likely to be made. We also understand that Naresh Goyal, it has been made very clear to him, will have to give up his board seat in favor of his son Nivan Goyal. We also understand that their stake in the airline will almost halve from 51% to under 26% when the resolution is completed, and the voting rights will also be capped at just about 10%. So these are the contours that are being worked. As we said, the final resolution plan should be okayed by the end of this week, which is why you saw the stock flying in trade today. Now, staying with airlines from the court then, Supreme Court has asked the government to reply on its move to empower 10 agencies to monitor and intercept data from any computer. This after a PIL sought interim stay on the government's notification regarding this particular issue. However, the Apex Court has refused to stay the notification. Still with After the Bell now, after months of speculation over will he or won't he, CNBC TV 18 learns that Anant Narayanan, the Chief Executive Officer of Myntra Jabong, is likely to announce his resignation from the fashion e-tailer later today. Mukta Varyar, who broke that story, is here with all the details. Mukta, who is likely to take over from Narayanan? What are you picking up from your sources?
Yes, Ritu, you're right. Anant Narayanan is stepping down as CEO of Myntra Jabong today. In fact, he's going to be making this announcement to employees of the company later this evening in the presence of Flipkart CEO Kalyan Krishnamurthy, as we understand. Now, Flipkart Vice President for Customer Experience Amar Nagaram is expected to fill in Anant Narayanan's role. Now, this movement has been speculated, like you said, for a few months. To be specific, following Binny Bansal's exit as Flipkart Group CEO in November, which put Myntra Jabong directly under Kalyan Krishnamurthy's control. Now, remember, there was already some churn following Binny Bansal's exit when Myntra CFO Dipanjan Basu had stepped down a few days following that announcement, and Jabong had laid off close to 150 employees due to the integration with Myntra. So we now have to watch whether there'll be more churn at the company following Anant Narayan's departure.
Oh, absolutely, Mugdha. Thank you very much for bringing us that important story. Now, staying with that space in line with its Retail 3.0 strategy, Future Group will be investing 1,000 crore rupees to set up about 38 distribution centres across India under its India Food Grid project. CNBC TV 18's Priya Sheth visited one of these large distribution centres in Chandigarh and spoke to Future Group's top boss Kishore Bayani to understand the company's growth plans going forward. Listen in.
When we thought about the food business, 10,000 stores, Aadhaar as a rural distribution, we thought of how do we supply, where should be our factories be, and how can we make other people who supply to us participate in something. So the whole idea came about was about how the electricity grids are and how power is generated somewhere and delivered somewhere. How can we create a network like that? And that's how the whole idea came about, creating integrated food distribution centers wherein we manage all temperature control, all products, and with services around 200 kilometers within the radius. And then we designed that how can we create a national grid on it, and then a regional grid, and then the tertiary grid, which is city grids. And then we started investing in it, and now we are ready with it. We have opened our 5 out of 38 distribution centers we want to open. We have created the 5th one. And I think within the next 3 to 4 years, all 38 would be operational. And anybody can enter the grid anywhere, any part, which is the nearest to their factories. And the goods can be delivered to our entire chain. By that time, we should be having 10,000 small stores, 15,000 Aadhaar stores, and multiple big bazaars.
So, of course, this is in line with your Retail 3.0 strategy that you've rolled out. But tell us the kind of investment that you'll be pumping in to actually build these kind of
I think this will require good investments in technology and the physical infrastructure. We expect that 38 centers, whenever, it will be 1,000 crore investment to open up 38 centers like this.
And this would be run under Future Supply Chain?
This is run by Future Supply Chain, because this is not only Future Group participating in it. There are other vendors, our customers, because all our FMCG customers are going to be customers to Future Supply Chain on this.
All right, that's Future Group's top boss detailing the company's 3.0 plan. Now, India's auto sector is going through a rough patch. According to industry body SIAM, 2018 festival period has been one of the worst periods for Motown. Speaking exclusively to CNBC TV 18's Parikshit Luthra, SIAM President Rajan Vadera said that while stock levels have been rising, billing has declined. He went on to add that in December alone, the auto industry witnessed a yearly degrowth of around 3% due to high inventories. Here's an excerpt of that interaction.
Usually the numbers are down in December, but because it is an inventory correction month, but aren't these numbers unusual? 2% drop in sale of passenger cars, 6% drop in the sale of scooters, 2% drop in two-wheelers altogether.
See, this year is a little different from earlier years. First, the festival season was there in November, as you know, and whole industry had built up volumes at the dealers in anticipation of good sales, and those sales did happen. And once that didn't happen, the stock levels had gone higher. One had to correct the stock levels, and I'm sure everyone has reduced production. Consequently, the billings are on the lower side as the numbers get reported are the wholesale numbers, which is the billing number and not the retail. So that's why you are seeing degrowth in almost every segment, because stock levels had reached very high, 50, 55. Yeah. And to correct the stock levels, one had to reduce the billings.
20%, 20.7% drop in sale of medium and heavy commercial vehicles. Is that a cause for worry?
Yes, it's a cause of worry, and it's been largely due to, I would say, the axle loading norms, you know, which are legitimized a loading of a certain order. 15 to 20% higher loading is happening now. Consequently, the sales have come down, and also availability of funds not been there.
Now, 3 years after the controversial JNU event, Delhi police has filed a 1,200-page charge sheet against 10 people, including former student leaders Kanhaiya Kumar and Umar Khalid. Now, these student leaders have been charged with sedition. The charge sheet alleges that Kanhaiya, Umar Khalid and others raised anti-national slogans during an event at the JNU campus in February of 2016. Well, here's that exclusive interaction we promised you before the break. Left out by SP and BSP, the Congress is now mulling fighting all 80 UP seats on its own. However, the party has kept the doors open for a possible alliance sometime in future. Meanwhile, speaking to News 18's Arun Singh in Dubai, Congress President Rahul Gandhi has said that Mayawati and Akhilesh Yadav have underestimated his party and have failed to recognize its utility. Here's an excerpt of that conversation.
क्या इस महागठबंधन से पहले उन्होंने बात की आपसे, थोड़ा निराशा है या नहीं? वो ना कांग्रेस पार्टी से, ना हमसे, ना हमारे लोगों से बात की। मगर देखिए, मैंने कल बोला, राजनीतिक डिसीजन है, उन्होंने अपना राजनीतिक डिसीजन लिया और हम उनका आदर करते हैं, मायावती जी का आदर करते हैं, अखिलेश यादव जी का, मुलायम सिंह यादव जी का आदर करते हैं। बट अब हमें अपना काम भी करना पड़ेगा। हमें कांग्रेस पार्टी, उत्तर प्रदेश में कांग्रेस पार्टी को चुनाव लड़ना पड़ेगा और दम से लड़ना पड़ेगा।
Well, they're young, they're brilliant, and they're taking the world by storm. The top contenders for the Young Turks Startup of the Year are ShareChat, Synctuple, Shuttle, and Mad Street 10. CNBC TV 18's Megha Vishwanath tells us more about these young and dynamic companies in this report.
Founded by three IIT Kanpur batchmates Fareed Hassan, Bhanu Singh and Ankush Sachdeva, ShareChat is a homegrown social networking platform for the next 500 million internet users in India, most of whom won't be English language speakers. Available in 14 languages with an active user base of over 25 million, ShareChat today is one of the leading vernacular content platforms in the country. Founded in 2015 by Rohit Pandey, Apurva Anand and Tathagato Dastakar, Synctuple is a pioneer in using machine learning and big data analytics to detect anomalies in pathology tests. Its flagship AI platform, Manthana, is capable of processing visual medical data from other medical devices and making medical recommendations. Founded by Amit Singh and Dipanshu Malviya in 2015, Shuttle is an app-based bus service that is delivering 50,000 rides daily across 150 routes in 7 cities. Tied in closely with Smart Cities' mission, Shuttle is disrupting urban mass transit with its home office transport service. Founded by neuroscientist and designer duo Ashwini Ashokan and Anand Chandrasekaran in 2013, Mad Street 10 is redefining the future of retail with its AI stack, View.ai. The AI stack provides solutions for the entire retail value chain, insight, on-app experience, marketing and social channels, and even insights in operations and automation.
Standard Chartered presents CNBC TV 18 India Business Leader Awards.
All right, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of After the Bell.